Who is it?
Hey, it's me. You said you wanted to talk?
Charlie. Yes, I see you got my message. Please have a seat. It's been quite some time.
Yeah, a lot has happened, so I'm sure you have a lot of questions.
Indeed I do. No small amount of changes have taken place on my end either.
How long has it been now since we last talked?
Too long. Around 6 or 7 months, if I recall. Anyway, I'd like to begin by asking you my biggest questions off the bat. I saw the news about the cancelled extermination and what happened at your hotel, but I need to know details. What happened leading up to it, who you talked to, what was planned, etc.
Well, like I said, there's a ton to unpack, but I can summarize it for you if you'd like. Then I can answer any questions that come up.
I'd appreciate that, thank you.
So, after the last extermination, I was called to a meeting at the Heaven Embassy. You know where that is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I went there, tried to tell the angels about my Hazbin hotel and plan, but they didn't listen. Then they said they're coming back 6 months earlier than ever for an extermination.
Yes, I remember the news broadcast.
So, after nearly losing my marbles trying to figure out what to do, I eventually called my dad for help. It took some convincing, but I managed to schedule a meeting with Heaven thanks to my dad.
With Heaven? As in, you went...
Yeah, I'll explain in a second. Sorry.
Take your time.
At the meeting, I tried to convince Heaven that sinners can be redeemed and to call off the extermination. They didn't listen and sent us back, with Adam saying they'll be coming for the hotel first.
Adam? Is that who I think it is?
Yeah, it's that Adam. Anyway, I didn't know what to do or how to fight back, but with the help of the cannibal colony and some angelic weaponry, we managed to fight them off and finish quite a few of them. The hotel was sadly destroyed, but we managed to rebuild it and it looks better than ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding.
Well, you seem in high spirits. I take everything was concluded well.
Some things could have gone smoother, but we pulled through.
How nice. Now, from that synopsis, I have more questions than before.
I don't blame you.
I'll start from the beginning. You said you were called to a meeting with the angels shortly after the last extermination.
Kinda. So, it was my dad who was supposed to be there, but he asked me to go instead. I gladly accepted, seeing that as a great opportunity to present my idea of redemption to Heaven and maybe make that the alternative to the annual exterminations.
And who was at this meeting?
It was Adam and his second-in-command. I think her name was Lute? They were the only ones there.
And they didn't listen?
Yeah, but they didn't just do that. They also insulted my idea and said I had no chance.
And this upset you?
It did, but I wasn't gonna give up that easily.
And you asked your father for help afterwards?
Not immediately after the meeting. I continued the activities and plans meant to redeem our patrons, but things didn't really go as planned.
In what sense?
Well, for example, our first patron, Angel, he had stuff to do with his work. I wanted to talk with his boss about having Angel spend more time at the hotel, but that plan sort of fell apart.
You didn't expect your plan to backfire? Emphasis on the fire.
Well, I thought I could convince Angel's boss with kind words and kind of use my title as Princess of Hell to, not aggressively, but really suggest that Angel deserved more time off. And, wait, how did you know about the fire?
I have some known associates who work in that department of entertainment. Social media and word of mouth spread gossip rather quickly.
Ugh, I'm still embarrassed about that.
There's no need to worry about such things. What happened there, it's behind you. It was months ago, and I doubt many remember or care. You shouldn't worry about what others remember you for, because they're likely too focused on their own personal memories that bring them embarrassment. Especially in a place like an adult film studio.
Yeah, you're right.
Now then, you said you asked your father for help after a period of time.
Yeah, though it was almost like a last resort kind of thing. I didn't really want to at first, but I eventually caved with some encouragement from Vaggie, and the chance that he could get me a meeting with Heaven is what convinced me.
And why did you not want to call him?
Well, I didn't think he'd want to help. He was the one who sort of approved the early extermination, and I barely spoke to him outside of occasional calls or business stuff.
And why is that?
After he and Mom split, he didn't really want to talk to me that much. I don't know why. Maybe he felt awkward about some things.
Interesting. I'll want to come back to that later. Next was the meeting with Heaven?
That's right.
And this one also didn't succeed?
Yes and no. I managed to at least show them that a soul can change thanks to Angel, but they didn't want to accept it.
All of Heaven disagreed with your vision?
Not everyone. A lot of them were actually discussing what I said, and this one angel named Emily really liked my idea.
Why do you think they are so hesitant to follow your ideals instead of the extermination?
Oh, right. I didn't mention this, but not all of Heaven knew about the exterminations. It was some heartless plan made by Adam and another angel named Sarah to protect Heaven.
Really?
What's worse is that the angels themselves don't even know what makes someone get into Heaven.
What do you mean?
There was a short list that supposedly spelled out everything a person needed to do in order to get into Heaven, and Angel fulfilled everything, showing that he can really be redeemed. But the angels didn't know why he wasn't in Heaven. It wasn't fair at all.
Then, what does this mean? What determines a person's fate after death is unknown? Or is some higher entity making the decisions?
I don't know. I wish I did, I really do. But now that just makes the whole process of redeeming sinners that much harder.
What happened at the hotel is somewhat clear to me, but there are still some things I need to understand.
Of course, go ahead.
You managed to not only fight back, but kill the angels. You found their weakness and used that to your advantage. I want to know how you discovered this.
Well, Alistair told me. He mentioned how Carmilla Carmine killed one during an extermination, and that she was our key to stand a chance.
How curious. It was kind of Alistair to help in such a way. Did he tell you as soon as he found out?
No. He would only tell me if I did a favor for him.
Wait, you made a deal with him?
Yes.
Oh no.
Look, I had no choice. I still own my soul, and he promised me that I wouldn't have to harm anyone.
Oh, child. I've been studying that man for a long time, and believe me when I say, there's no end to his creativity. He's also an opportunist, a very cunning one at that. You just handed him the strongest wild card he's ever gotten. You'd best believe he's going to use it to the fullest extent.
What would you have done in my situation?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe ask dear old Dad for help? Say that Adam and his exorcists are coming for my hotel, and that I need a way to fight back.
But he did show up. He helped us fight back and rebuild.
Yes, I know. But he could have done so earlier if you asked him before condemning yourself to God knows what at the hands of Alistair.
If I did call him, would he even tell me? Would he even have known how to harm the angels?
I don't know. And because you're asking these questions, I know you don't either. Which is why calling him would have been a good approach to the situation. Look, I understand what you did and why you did it. You wanted to protect those you love and what you've built from the ground up, no matter the cost. I'm sure others would have done the exact same for you. Don't mistake my questions and comments as ridicule for your actions. I just want to understand your side of the story.
Okay.
On a lighter note, I've yet to congratulate you on your victory.
Thanks.
Something on your mind?
We didn't win without loss. We lost Pentius in the fight. He died protecting us.
Oh. Then don't let his death be for nothing. Sacrificing oneself for those you care about sounds like a redeeming quality to me. Whatever you did to help him, it changed him for the better. I'm sure with time, you'll help others achieve the path he was on.
I really hope so.
We're almost out of time, but I've still got a few more questions. We can save those for later. Now, I want to quickly discuss new possibilities and meetings.
What do you mean?
This may be a stretch, but could you get me a meeting with your father? I'd very much like to speak with him.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe? I can certainly try.
Thank you.
Could I ask you something, actually?
By all means.
I remember during our last meeting, I asked you if you'd want to be redeemed, but you confused me with your answer. Could you please explain a little bit better?
Of course. But you should brace yourself. When you asked me if I wanted to be redeemed, I told you that I don't deserve to be. What I implied was that redemption isn't a choice for me. I have indeed dreamed about freedom, escaping this pit that I'm trapped in, seeking skies of blue once more and feeling the sunlight on my skin, hearing the wind rustling trees of green while birds chirped, feeling the ocean waves as they splash against my feet on the shore, the smell and sensation of nature wash over me with the morning dew, laying in the grass and watching white clouds gently fly above me, taking a deep breath of clean and fresh air, closing my eyes, and bringing my mind at ease with the knowledge that I am free. But that is not what I have, nor will I get. Redemption is promising. But I deserve to be here, trapped in this hell as penance for the things I've done. Others drown themselves with vices like drugs and alcohol, coping with the fact they're down here because they're bad people. They refuse redemption because they see there's no point. Why escape a place like this, where you can indulge in every unhealthy habit you can imagine without the worry of repercussions? Murder, cannibalism, theft, drug abuse, and other unholy depravities I do not want to name. They all fail to remember what they lost because of their addictions and unashamed methods of entertainment and expression. They lose themselves. Meanwhile, I refuse every vice I come across, clinging on to the memories of what I once had. It tortures me every night, but that's what I brought upon myself, and I must live with the consequences. Redemption is something I don't deserve, regardless if I want it or not. And what I choose is to stay here, not for a life of excitement, but as voluntary punishment. Lost for words, Princess Morningstar? Reality's a bitch.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
No need. We're out of time anyway. But before you go, I want you to remember something.
Yeah?
Live your life how you wish. Do what you believe is right. Redeem them if you can. But in the end, the very end, I want you to look back at everything you've done and ask yourself one simple question. Was it worth it?
Thank
you for your time. Close the door on your way out. Is that you, Ivan? Did you forget something? Oh, Stolas! What can I do for you? Our next meeting isn't for another...
We need to talk.
Is everything alright?
No, I'm here on a serious matter that you and I need to discuss.
Well, by all means, have a seat.
I'll stand.
What's troubling you?
Remember a few weeks ago when you spoke with Octavia?
Yes.
I called that meeting between you two because I thought talking to a so-called specialist would help her get through this hard time in her life.
What do you mean? I thought we...
Let me finish, James. When she came home that night, she immediately ran over and hugged me, almost breaking down into tears. I comforted her the best I could, but I knew something was wrong. My mind began to race, and worry started overwhelming me. I tried to ask her what happened. She couldn't make out the words. She barely spoke the day after, wanting to stay in her room. I went to check on her, but I found something which... My daughter is a talented artist. She draws the most beautiful things with the most perfect details, taking her time in every piece she creates. But when I glanced at her sketchbook, I was mortified. Care to explain this? What's wrong? Lost for words?
I promise you that I did nothing to Octavia. What she was disturbed by...
I have the ability of clairvoyance too, James. I almost never use it, but this forced my hand. I didn't think I'd have to use it on you when we first met, because I thought you were someone I could trust.
What have I done to warrant your sudden mistrust?
It's the uncertainty that I'm terrified of. I can't make heads or tails of what you want, or who you even are. Never in my years have I seen something like this. Letting you near my daughter is a risk I'm not going to take.
Is my promise of not harming you or Octavia not good enough for you? Why would I ever...
If I can't even sense if you're telling the truth, your word means almost nothing to me. Whether your intentions are innocent or not, I don't want you talking with her again. Just to be safe.
Do you take me for some kind of monster who wishes harm upon her?
I don't know, and that's exactly why I'm doing this. I don't even know why I let you speak with her in the first place. Stay away from Octavia. This is your only warning, James. I mean it.
Fine. I'll honor your wish. But I swear on my own life that I have no ill intentions against you or your family.
Until I know for certain your promises don't hold any weight. Please understand that I'm not doing this out of hatred, only to protect Octavia.
I know. You're doing what you think is right. But this is why knowing too much can sometimes be scarier than not knowing enough.
Don't lecture me about this, James.
She's lucky, you know, to have someone like you.
Goodbye.
Until next time, Your Highness.